Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into something really interesting. It's about how our social circles, the people we hang out with, can actually make or break our fitness goals.
It's true. We often get so caught up in the latest diet fads or workout trends that we forget about the impact of who we surround ourselves with.
Yeah, like we always hear, you are the average of the five people you spend the most time with, but we rarely think about it in terms of like our health goals.
Right. And the fascinating thing is this isn't just some new age self-help idea. This interconnectedness is actually deeply ingrained in our evolution.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, the text we're looking at today, it talks about how for our ancestors, way back when, survival really depended on them sticking together, cooperating, strong social bonds were everything.
So basically, there was strength in number.
Exactly. Those who teamed up, they were the ones who were more likely to survive, find food, all of that.
That makes sense. It's like that need for connection is hardwired into us.
Exactly. Just like our ancestors relied on their tribes for safety, food, we also look to our social groups for support, guidance.
Okay, but how does that translate to something like, crushing our fitness goals today?
That's where this whole idea of right association comes in.
Right, the text mentions that. What does that actually mean, though? Right association when we're talking about fitness.
Well, it's more than just having a gym buddy. It's about being intentional, about surrounding yourself with people who embody, a healthy lifestyle.
So people who walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Exactly. Think about like your friends or family who consistently seem to prioritize their well-being. What sets them apart?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think.
Well, one thing the text points out is consistency. It's not about being perfect all the time, but more like having a general commitment to healthy choices.
So it's about finding a sustainable approach, not just jumping on every fad diet that comes along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And another big thing is mindset. These are the people who see fitness as a journey, as self-improvement, not a punishment. Yeah, they genuinely enjoy moving their bodies, eating nourishing foods. It's not a chore for them. It's like a way of life.
And you can just feel that energy,
Yeah.
it's contagious.
Exactly. And that kind of leads us to another important piece of this right association puzzle. It's about encouragement over comparison.
Oh, I like that. It's so true, though. It's so easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others, especially with social media and everything.
Absolutely. But when you've got people in your corner who genuinely want to see you succeed, who celebrate those wins, big or small, that's powerful.
Totally. It's like having your own personal cheer squad, pushing you to be your best self.
Exactly. Now, the text we're looking at doesn't just focus on the positive. It also dives into the flip side, what it calls wrong association.
Yeah, that's the part that made me kind of go, ooh, okay. When I first read it, remember those silent saboteurs it talks about?
Right. It's a little jarring, but it definitely makes you stop and think. And just to be clear, it's not about judging people or labeling them as good or bad.
Right. Of course not.
It's more about recognizing those subtle ways our social circles influence us, and ultimately affect our results.
So how do we spot these silent saboteurs? What are some signs someone might be unintentionally holding us back from our fitness goals?
Well, the text gives this example of people who are constantly negative about healthy habits. You know the type.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. They're like, another salad, or you're going to the gym again.
Exactly. And it's like their negativity, even if they don't mean it in a bad way, it can chip away at our motivation over time.
It's like that saying, death by 1,000 paper cuts, but for our fitness goals.
Right. And it's not just the negativity either. Their lack of accountability plays a role too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, if you're trying to eat healthy, but your friends are always suggesting takeout, it's tough to resist.
Exactly. It's about our environment. When our social life revolves around things that clash with our goals, it's an uphill battle.
It's like that other saying, you can't out-train a bad diet, but in this case, it's like you can't out-train a social life that's constantly tempting you.
Precisely. And again, it's not about judging anyone's choices. It's about recognizing the impact it has on us and making conscious decisions about the company we keep.
Being mindful and intentional about who we surround ourselves with, especially when it comes to something as important as our health, right?
Absolutely. And it's not like you have to ditch your friends who aren't into fitness. It's more about finding a balance.
Seeking out connections that align with our goals and maybe, just maybe, gently nudging our existing circles towards healthier habits, too.
Exactly. Like the text says, even small changes can have a ripple effect.
So true. So for our listeners who are thinking, okay, this is all great, but where do I even begin? It can feel overwhelming to think about overhauling your entire social life.
Right. It's like you don't have to go cold turkey on all your old friends just because they're not like fitness gurus or something.
Exactly. And the text actually talks about this. It says we should focus on building what it calls micro environments that support our goals.
Microenvironments. I like that. Okay, so what does that actually look like, though?
So think about it this way. You know how you and your friends have your go-to hangouts or activities?
Yeah, totally.
So maybe it's about finding ways to make those just a little bit healthier. Like, let's say you always meet up for drinks and appetizers. Could you suggest a potluck instead, where everyone brings a healthy dish?
Ooh, I love that. It's about still enjoying the social aspect, but making it more mindful, right?
Exactly. Or another example, maybe you and your coworkers always bond over those coffee breaks with pastries and stuff.
The struggle is real, haha. Right. So instead of that, why not start a walking group? Get some fresh air, explore the neighborhood. You're still connecting with your colleagues, but in a way that's good for everyone.
Those are such good ideas. It's amazing how those small tweaks can make a big difference.
Absolutely. And, sometimes just being open with your friends and family about your fitness journey can make a world of difference.
It's like inviting them to be part of it, right?
Exactly. You might be surprised how supportive they are. They might even want to join you.
So true. It all comes back to that iron sharpens iron concept, finding people who inspire us to level up.
Absolutely. And remember, it's not just about who you surround yourself with, but the energy you bring to those interactions, too.
Oh, that's a good point. We got to show up as our best selves, right?
Exactly. If you're excited about your fitness journey, that enthusiasm, it rubs off on others.
Totally. Well, this has been such an eye-opening conversation. I think we often underestimate how much our social circles impact our health and fitness goals.
It's one of those things that's so easy to overlook, but it makes such a difference.
It really does. So, any final words of wisdom for our listeners before we sign off?
Just remember, you have the power to shape your social environment. Be mindful of the company you keep, the things you do together, the energy you bring to those relationships. You've got this.
Love that. So, it's not just about individual effort, it's about building a supportive community around us.
Exactly.
Amazing. Well, on that note, thanks to everyone for joining us on this deep dive into the power of our social circles. Until next time, stay healthy out there.